Hi, this is Ben Baxter with Accent Software. Wanted to bring a quick tip on Dynamics 365 Business Central. This one is going to be around the projects capability. I want to talk about the structure. So I'm in a profile. It is important that you make sure you are in the correct profile for whatever your task is within the system. I am in the project manager profile, which gives me access to projects, the open version, planned and quoted, just different statuses of projects. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on the projects list and I'm going to go down to one that I set up that has a decent structure to it. So the top part is the project itself. So that is the main job, the description of it. But there's not a lot going on that level. Basically where you capture the customer information, the duration of the project, what the status is, those sort of things. Where you actually get to the details down here in the task section. And so a task is an activity that you perform on a job. So it could be welding or grinding or client meetings or site inspection, different things that happen on a project. The task group structure can have nested groups within it. So while I have a task group 0, 100 through 99, that encompasses all of my tasks together, and it gives me a nice roll up of the entire project right here on one screen. And then inside of that main task group, I have a nested task group, and that one gives me a roll up of the activities or tasks within each of them. So you actually store your details on the individual tasks, and the groups allow you to summarize and see the total of that. So these three tasks or activities that someone might perform get rolled up, and I can see the 55,000 is the total of those three tasks, and down here this 42,000 is the roll up of the three tasks within the second group. So you can nest groups, and that's why this main task group rolls up the 55 plus the 42 to give me 98,000. So that's how the structure there works. Now within a task, you have the ability to have planning lines, and the planning lines are the detail behind the scenes. So within that task, I have Lena, a person or a resource, could be a subcontractor, recording 15 hours of time at $101 an hour. So I have $1,500 worth of cost. So that's kind of how a planning line works, is you're budgeting for a planned amount of time, a planned amount of items. So here I have 3 separate items with different quantities and their related costs. So I'm planning for the material, the components that will be required to assemble or put together this project to complete the work for the client. So these project planning lines are the detail that rolls up into this first task. And then if I look at the second task and I drill into the details for that, you can see it's made up of more material, different resources, different quantities. So different things that roll up to give me a total cost for an individual task. So that's how you budget and estimate for your projects, is all based on your task. Now, this is a tip video, so I'm going to give you some advice, and if you already use projects, just know that how you structure the job is not set in stone. You can always change it going forward. This is a concept. You do not have to use this. Some people keep it very simple. So this is just tasks. There's no groups at all. The project itself is my grouping. I don't need to do it down here in the task line. So you can get very detailed and you can build out groups of tasks and detail within each of them. So here's one that has several different groups with individual tasks. It's up to you. It's 100% your project, how you want to capture the information. Don't build your tasks such as labor time, material costs, subcontractor costs, expenses. Those types of costs are already broken out for you by the system. So it knows that items are material. So I have a total cost of material. It knows that labor is generally resources. So I have my roughly $14,500 of labor costs. So I can see that without needing to cloud it in my activities or my task structure. The tasks should really be Something, if you were to schedule this, that could be sequential in order, keeping it in something that you can put into a Gantt chart and schedule. That being said, keep it as simple as possible. You do not want to have a really big task structure and then have your people just record to the very first task and that's it. Because if you're not recording actual cost against that budget in that kind of detail, you're losing out on all the analysis that you can do with the system. So always start simple. You can build out as you get your people, your process in line with what you want to get out of the system. But start very, very simple, because what a job really needs is, what are my costs and what were my actuals? And with that information, I can see how well we did on a project. I can see what do we have to bill left, that sort of information. So that's it. That's the project structure. I am going to do more videos on the project capabilities within Business Central, so keep an eye out for that. If you have any questions over projects or anything within Business Central, please make sure you reach out to the Accent Software support team, and we will be happy to help you better utilize your environment.